This show is strictly for entertainment purposes. We are not financial advisors. Please always gamble responsibly.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Spread Detectives, a podcast where we break down and give predictions on sports ranging from the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, all the way to the classic Tetris World Championship.
There we go.
I'm your host, Nick. To my right, Hank, Moneyline Marsh on Twitter. To my left, Drake. Today we're going to dive into the NBA playoffs as the season's coming to an end, kind of get into who we think might win it. I guess we can kind of start with the East. It's a little more, the Boston Celtics kind of dominated the regular season.
For sure.
So it's a little easier to start there. I know you were talking about the play-in. We got Chicago versus Atlanta.
Yeah, so with the play-in, I obviously love the play-in games. It was such a great idea to kind of bring them in. Just it gives those like 9 and 10 seeds just a miraculous shot to go on a run. And given proof last year with the Miami Heat, they had to win 2 play-in games, or they lost the first play-in game, then they had to win the second play-in game, and they went all the way to the finals. So I definitely like it. I'm born and raised Atlanta, so when it comes with this Hawks-Bulls game.
Yeah. I wonder who's going to be favored. I guess it'll be the Bulls.
Well, right now they're teetering between who's going to be home and who's going to be away. But if it's in Atlanta, easy Hawks cover.
Think so?
City's going to be rocking. This City shows up for these playoff games, I'm telling you.
That is true.
But I mean, both these teams aren't going to really do anything. I don't see any of the play-in teams on the East kind of doing anything. The play-in tournament on the West is going to be really interesting. It's going to be probably Golden State playing the Lakers or something like that.
And the Kings, Pelicans.
Yeah, and the Kings, Pellies. That's going to be very interesting games.
Yeah.
And either one of those teams could, if they're healthy enough, beat that 1 seed, either the Timberwolves or the OKC or something like that. So the play-in, the East is going to be the East. It's going to be Miami and Philly probably play, and they'll probably both get in. They'll whoever loses that game will probably just kind of mop the either the Bulls or the Hawks. But I don't know. Going over to the West, definitely still have faith in the Warriors, even though they've played like kind of shit.
They got a shot.
Warriors in the playoffs, you just never know.
I mean, they worked their way back into a position barely, but I mean, it is the West, so they had to work hard. But I like their shots.
So on the East, though, do you think anybody has a chance to take out the Celtics, or is it just?
I think the Celtics had a good regular season. I think they could very well lose in the second round. I wouldn't say first. I think they'll coast through the first.
Okay.
And then second round. I don't know. There's just something about them. They play well in the regular season, and then. But things could be different this year. They went and got a few pieces that if Jason or Jalen kind of fall short a few games.
Yeah, that Porzingis, that was a big move.
Yeah.
But you kind of have lost faith in the Bucks recently, correct?
I mean, they just lost 4 straight. I don't know. I don't love it. I don't see the dog in them. Haven't really seen anything spectacular out of Damian Lillard this year.
Yeah.
A few spurts.
They're going to talk all that shit. It's like, I'm not going to chase rings and all that. And then he goes to one of those powerhouses. And then he plays like shit. So I'm like,
it's so weird because Harden did the same thing. Like Harden was on the Rockets. He looked like a superstar. He goes to the Clippers. He just plays totally different, which I get it. You have to play with the people around you. But it's so weird how, like, he'll have the ball. Harden, I was watching the game the other day. He'll have the ball at the top of the key, one-on-one, and he's looking to pass. For 8 years in his career, he was like, there's no one else on his team. It's just him.
Like
and all of a
15
sudden,
step backs a game.
Yeah, it's just so weird how you just completely lose it. Like, I get it. You want to be more of a team player because you got other people around you now. But it's weird to just absolutely lose it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have changed. I think they were doing, like, at the start, it was a little rocky because you got to get used to each other. And then that, like, little middle ground, they were kind of like, Giannis was even like, I want him to do his thing. I want him to be great on his own. And now they're kind of, I don't know if it has anything to do with Doc trying to change some things coaching-wise.
That's true, too. He's cursed. So we know that.
Doc is always
just
cursed.
him being their coach.
I saw one of my buddies the other day tweeted, or maybe it was some random account, but they're like, this might be one of his shortest coaching tenures ever.
Oh, then you get fired this year? I mean, they go out early?
Dude,
they'll probably still lock in the 2 seed, which is crazy.
With the people on paper, you got Bobby Portis playing how he's playing off the bench. It just doesn't really make sense how they're finding ways to lose these games, especially these last 4 that they've lost were against not good teams. One was like the Wizards.
Yeah,
like it was not good.
And they were
ball
blown
clubs.
leads as well. They were up at half, and then when it gets to the fourth quarter, when it's supposed to be Dame time, and they just completely blow it.
I don't get it.
Some guy live bet the Knicks when they were down like 15, won like $100,000 just because it was
the
that.
Trends,
following. It's pretty easy to follow the trends in the NBA.
Bucks are playing like the Falcons.
And I have a take for the East. and the whole NBA. I think the Orlando Magic, although they're young, I think they might. Bro, that is this is my point exactly, bro. You're laughing, but that's a 3 seed.
Yeah, they're
literally a 3 seed,
Yeah.
and the way the Bucks are playing. Let me double check the record real quick. They could fall in.
Yeah, they're one game.
Oh no,
behind.
I think they just clinched.
Nah, but they're one game behind Milwaukee for the 2 seed.
Exactly. So
That's
it's not
possible.
if they lose a few more and they win some, they could be a 2 seed.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that no one's talking about a team that has been consistent all year. Best team against the spread by a fucking large margin.
They're the number 1 team.
Oh, dude, they're
yeah.
like hitting at like 66, almost 66%.
Now I'm learning this when playoffs are coming.
Yeah, you missed it all year. It's too late now.
Unreal.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all right. We have UConn.
You got to get on Sportsline or Covers.com or what
Yeah.
he uses, then it shows you those things more often.
So what about the Pacers? I mean, they almost won the
No
play-in.
defense.
I know, but
No, I mean, but I don't know about that
Still,
because
though,
ever since because
they
they
can
were
score.
automatic over at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Once Siakam came, they were like 11, almost 11 straight unders or something like.
That did change. It's slowed down. But the reason why those games are going under, I mean, Siakam does bring the defensive kind of a little bit, but also he slows down their offense. They were always the Pacers for the past 2 years have been number 1 in transition points and fast break points and all that. Siakam gets there, they get to the top of the key, they run pick and rolls with him, set him up in the post, and it kind of
Back
slows
him
it down
down,
when it comes to over unders.
Yeah.
I don't have any faith in the Pacers. I mean, I hope they can make a second round appearance because they'll probably get.
they'll probably play the Magic first.
No, they'll probably
The way
play,
it's set up. Right?
Oh,
If it stays
the
as
Magic's
is.
taking that one. I don't care what anyone says. The Magic is
Yeah,
taking
if it
that.
stays how it is right now, they would travel into Orlando for the first 2 games.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is like there's so much attention elsewhere for some reason, whatever it is. Paulo Banchero is going to be one of the faces of the league in the next 5-10 years. So, I mean, he's already playing at a very high
Sucks we're
level.
getting to this age to where we're talking about Paulo Banchero instead of like LeBron and all that.
It's
is
weird for
weird.
sure, but then also you got like, I don't get how people don't talk about Franz Wagner. They say Wagner, right?
Yeah, it's
Not
Wagner,
Wagner.
He's like,
And
watching
Markelle
him play-
Fultz finally hit a 3
I
with
will
this
say-
weird ass shot. He's changed his shot like 15 times.
The only thing about them, they play well, but I've watched a lot of Magic basketball this year. Orlando Magic, not just Magic, but I've watched a lot of Orlando Magic basketball this year, and they do seem to get flustered in like the important moments. They play well when it doesn't really matter, play really well. But
DeJounte
in
Murray
those
beat
key
him twice
moments-
on buzzer beaters.
Yeah, exactly. In those key moments, they just make really
Yeah.
stupid mistakes. So I could see that
In the
being their
playoffs.
downfall,
Well,
yeah.
the thing is, if they do end up matching up with the Pacers, both those teams are young, don't have a lot of playoff experience. So that would be kind of an interesting matchup.
That would be. I'd like to.
But
watch
all
it.
in all, in the
What a
East,
weird-
it's yeah.
What a weird
Who would
year,
ever
yeah.
think they would play each other in playoffs like last year, predicting it for this year? Pacers,
all
Magic,
in all, in
first
the
round.
East, I mean, it's definitely Boston's to lose for sure. I don't see any team. I thought maybe Milwaukee, but the way they've been playing recently, I mean, it's probably, I'm not going to say a lock, but they're
Yeah.
probably going to go ahead and hit the finals.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say,
Boston will be the only team that everyone's going to be like, you guys blew it. Anyone else, they're going to be like, you know, you
season.
played your best.
Yeah,
You know, I guess.
any team
And-
like a Pacers or a Magic, they make it like a second round or even touch an Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Great season.
Yeah.
It's literally
You got a lot to
win the
build
finals or bust for the
Do you
Boston
think the-
Celtics.
does
and the Bucks.
Yeah, well,
Both-
the Bucks. I mean, they just
It's their first year with Dame, but
Yeah.
I
I think they're already
It's a win or bust for them.
I think they were win or bust, and it's just slowly been
for
like
sure.
going like
Yeah, it's
lower
looking
and
like
lower
bust.
expectations.
I could see Boston playing like a weird team in the Eastern Conference Finals,
To like
a Pacers or like maybe a Cavs team
Or the
something.
Magic.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Knicks.
or maybe the Magic.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
But
Put them in there.
Remember, you said in the NBA video like a month or two ago, you were talking about the Knicks, and no matter what happens with them, Jalen Brunson has had a hell of a year.
Yeah,
Hell of a
he's been going-
season.
he's been going
Dude.
crazy.
They really could. It's really disappointing because Julius struggled for a few years, and then he was having a really good year. Now he's out for the season. They got OG because the thing that sucks is when they were all three on the floor, they were 11-1, and
Yeah.
then it just went. Mitchell Robinson is back, but he's not an offensive player. Yeah, I mean Brunson can't do it all. DiVincenzo can't shoot 23s every single game. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
And Josh Hart.
He does get some rebounds in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, he's
Remember that?
hustle-
He comes out.
They
in
got
the
some
playoffs.
hustle.
Got to shoot
players,
those
it's-
overs
yeah.
on DiVincenzo's rebounds in the playoffs. I'm telling you, he's
But hey,
crashing the glass.
Speaking of all three being on the floor, what is up with the Suns? They lost to an Anthony Ingram-less Pelicans.
Yeah, but we all got to also play into the fact that Zion Williamson has
Dude,
been
when-
playing at a high level.
Bro, he went off in the fourth quarter.
CJ McCollum is a great game manager.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they got some good shooters. And even guys off the bench like that new
Trey
guy
Murphy,
from UConn
yeah.
last year, Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah.
He's come and dropped a few 20 balls throughout the game. They got Trey, like you said, Trey Murphy, Herbert Williams, great defender. I've always kind of liked them. It's just one of those teams that seem to tuck their tail and run when it gets tough. That's why I have a tough
time. So kind of
time.
transitioning into the West. The
Suns.
They got New Orleans right there at the 7. They're basically tied with Phoenix right now.
Yeah, and
the biggest thing in the West is you don't want to be in that play-in game. That's what everyone's fighting for right now because you're going to be going up against a powerhouse no matter what. You don't want to have an extra game or maybe an extra 2 games, and then you go on the road automatically to play a high-powered Thunder or Timberwolves team or Nuggets team.
And if the Mavs end up playing the Clippers in the first round,
Mavs take it.
Yeah, easy
for sure.
And especially the moves that they made in that trade deadline that really got them some extra help.
PJ Washington and then Gafford. Oh my God, they finally fixed the line. But when he first went to Dallas, his rebound line was like 5.5. He was getting 12 to 15. I cashed so many prize picks on those just because. And then now they're finally getting him to like 8.5, 9.5. So there was a lot of value there. So definitely what Drake was saying, great trade. They probably won the deadline, even though it was a weak deadline.
Yeah, not a lot happened.
And I have no, like I said earlier, I don't have any faith in the Clippers. There's this one guy who can win $1.7 million if the Thunder win the
$1.7 million.
Yes, because
how much did you put on it?
He already picked the Chiefs. He already picked.
It was
a parlay of all the winners.
Damn.
He picked Michigan, and then the only thing that he needs is OKC to win the finals. And I would let it ride. The cash out right now is like $22,000, but I would just let it ride. If the Thunder make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, it'll probably be like they'll probably give him a chance for like $200K, and I would just cash out.
When is Alexander coming back?
He'll
be ready for playoffs. Yeah.
I feel like
just tweaked.
He's been out for like 5 or 6 games.
I feel like this season is just so set up for whether it be the Warriors or the Lakers to make a real push because they had a subpar season, fought hard to in the more difficult conference, fought hard to stay in there. Like the Warriors, if the Rockets wouldn't have lost if they would have kept winning instead of losing these last 5, I think it'd be a whole different story. But the Rockets literally put themselves into contention and then immediately wiped themselves out. So now it's back interesting there.
Yeah.
I think I have more faith in the Lakers than the Warriors to make a push.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Just a little bit deeper, I think.
I mean, like Austin Reeves can play well. D'Lo, when he gets high, he gets ridiculously
Jackson,
high.
and then like the small time players like Jackson Hayes. They got
that was a weird name to say. Jackson Hayes.
He's been hooping.
I haven't watched much Laker basketball.
And then
in the last
Spencer
2 weeks.
Dinwiddie, honestly, he's been playing. He's so handsy when he's playing. He's always tipping the ball, getting steals.
Yeah.
And then
he's a good basketball player.
He's a good hooper.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I was just looking at it. The 7 seed New Orleans Pelicans would be fighting for a 2 seed in the East. So these guys are going to end up playing in a play-in game where
the
they
West
could
is
be.
So much better.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So, but you never know what comes out with the East. I mean, there's going to be Boston and all that, but when it comes down to the West, no one has any faith in the Suns. Maybe.
I have 0.
Yeah.
None at all.
They're not deep enough. They have the big 3, and that's kind of it. And then you go to Nurkic, and then
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen has been lights out. He's number 1 3-point shooter.
And he plays pretty good defense.
And when I was in Denver, he won me some money.
Yeah, he's like 26. He looks like he's 40.
Yeah, he's graying up. I mean, me too a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I would love to see.
Damn, he's only 26.
I don't know, but
I'm gonna say he does look pretty damn old. I've seen his pictures.
I remember watching him on Duke when we were like, and I was like in my early 20s. So he's a little. I think he's like your age, a little younger than me.
Because he's definitely after Jimmer Fredette type vibes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Is he? Okay. Either way, though.
I remember watching Fredette. It was when the TVs were still a little fuzzy or something. He was back in the day.
You could see he was pulling from way back there.
Because that was, bro, I remember like either 8th or 9th grade, like when you would shoot a deep 3, you'd be like, Jimmer.
Yeah. Pulling from Caitlin Clark range.
Hey, she can hoop, though.
Yeah, you saw Ice Cube offered her a bag to join the Big 3.
And then
how does that work, though? Because I haven't even ever seen that.
The Big 3?
I've never watched it.
It's a half-court 3-on-3 game.
Wow.
I don't know exactly how
it's
it
all
works.
with like retired, like Gil Arenas plays sometimes, Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Hey, what about what's you just said? Gilbert Arenas saying that Jokic is the worst guy to win MVP in the last 40 years.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's ridiculous.
The guy should just go fucking bring another gun into the locker room.
He's gonna win back-to-back.
Wait, 2 or 3?
This will be his 3rd
in a row.
Yeah, no, not in a row. Embiid won it last year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
but this will be his 3rd, and
Total.
it's like minus. It's minus something pretty crazy.
I mean, it's kind of hard to argue. Like,
I'm surprised they never give it to Luka. Luka's been going nuts this year.
I just feel like, it's definitely fair to say other people could have it, but just to say something crazy like that, like, dude, You didn't play a high enough level to have an opinion on that, dude. That's just kind of ridiculous. Like I think it's just because Gilbert Arenas was a really flashy player. Jokic isn't very flashy, so in his eyes, he's not doing anything good. But then, like, you talk to other people or you make your own conclusion. It's like, bro, he is a game manager.
He's incredible.
That can also take over a game, slow the game down, probably not speed the game up too much.
He can, dude. He fucking gets the rebound. He sprints down the court.
Yeah. He has some great passes too. I mean,
he literally controls. I mean,
he throws those inbound soccer passes full court on a line too.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's insane.
Yeah. Visually, that's what we're talking about. But just tell me a stat line, and I'll be like, yeah, this guy's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins MVP, it's well deserved. I had a good.
He's like minus 4,000.
Oh yeah.
Wemby, they're not even offering odds anymore.
Yeah, like he's got the rookie of the year.
I mean, shit. If he was on a better ball club, or if he like started playing halfway through the season, if he was playing like that all year.
Yeah, he started out a little shaky. I was hammering his unders on points, and then I started doing it again, and then he just kept cooking me. I'm like, all right, now I'm hitting it over.
I went through it. Only 2 games this whole year he didn't have a block.
Oh yeah,
he's got like by far the record.
Yeah, he's going nuts.
Yeah. I mean, give the Spurs 4 or 5 years, some trades,
get a few more pieces,
some new picks. Like they're going to be. To build around him, I mean, and
that's what I'm
they're
saying.
Never going to trade him. Never going to let him.
He's not like LeBron, where he went in and played with Ilgauskas and had a 66-win season.
They need to let Wemby play 4 and then go get a solid 5, defender 5, and they'll be fucking in action.
But see, the thing is though, like for you to say that, guards and guards have controlled the game for a long time, right? Like for a center to just come in and take his team to the finals like LeBron did.
Wemby can still play point.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
He takes the ball up sometimes, for sure.
I mean, sometimes.
And then he just pulls up from the top of the key, and it's usually money.
Yeah, but all right, so Wemby has the ball. He brings it up at half court. You don't think someone like Drew Holiday, or even though it'd be weird for them to guard them, but they'd switch him once he gets closer to the paint. But like Drew or someone like, someone's taking that shit.
Every time.
That's so far for it to hit the ground and come back up for these little guys to just cut from
Jose Alvarado.
From their defensive stance. From Jose Alvarado's defensive stance, that ball is coming off his fingers damn near at his head. Who, Pat Bev?
No, Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, that rat shit he does coming off the side. I don't like it,
coming from the
I hate it.
Georgia Tech, bro. That's Georgia Tech.
Dude, he gets him too.
Did he play at Georgia Tech?
Yeah, he's a Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I had no idea. Well, dang, I like him a little more now, you know?
Yeah.
Go Jackets.
Oh, you're a Jackets fan over Georgia?
That's a tough one. I as a kid, yeah, but it's kind of hard because I went to way more sporting events for Georgia Tech than I did Georgia.
So then naturally,
yeah. But I mean, obviously, a lot more boring to be a Tech fan.
Go Dogs.
So what do you guys think about coming out of the West? I mean, it's tough. I know it's almost a guess at this point.
If I'd say
but if you got to pick,
I think
somebody,
it's Dallas's year. I think Dallas. Yeah? I think they make a run, and I could see them. Kind of controlling.
I agree with that just because, bro, that's 2 people who could single-handedly take over a game on their own. 37 and 48, that's almost 240 balls. And then I went and looked. I mean, they did score 150 points, but there was still, when you see that stat line, someone with 48 and 37, you would assume that no one else has double-digit scoring. There was still like 2 or 3 other people with double digits.
Hardaway. I think they have the pieces. They got the coach. They have the city behind them. I think it's finally their year to make a run. And this is their best chance to go make a run, too.
And it's like a revenge year.
It's Luka's best chance, for sure.
It's a revenge year, too. They were in a pretty decent seed last year, and literally Kyrie got traded. The chemistry just wasn't there yet.
Right.
And they worked themselves out of playoff contention. Now, I can't imagine how sour that made them feel.
And they're playing together now, and I mean, I've just watching Kyrie sometimes. I mean, I know he's been in the league for a while, but he still amazes me with like his ball handling, the way his crazy acrobatic layups.
Yeah.
I think it's their year. I mean, because the year that they beat the Suns in 7 when they smoked them by like 70 or something, and then they played like that really hot Warriors team that ended up beating Boston in the finals.
Yeah.
This year, I don't really see like a super hot team in the West that can I don't know. I just think I'll take Dallas coming out the West, and then I'll probably take Boston. So Dallas versus Boston. I think that'll be a great series. But I think Boston will probably take it.
I'm still sticking with my pick from earlier. I'm still going Minnesota to come out of the West.
Loser ass bet.
Such a
maybe, but I'm sticking with my
I just don't
gut.
think they have the experience.
Yeah, I'd say
everyone in Dallas that is controlling the kind of like how the game's going to turn out has experience and is ready to go. I would love OKC. I would love OKC to do something, but I just don't think they're there just yet.
Not quite. But I'd say for me, for the West, for sure, I'd have to agree with either Dallas, and if I was going to go anywhere off that, I'd go Dallas. You know, they're up more higher in seeding. And then if I'm going to Cinderella, which it can't really be a Cinderella because who's on the fucking team? The Lakers.
Yeah.
But you can't
That
call
Mar-
him a Cinderella
yeah.
with LeBron on the team ever. It's never a thing.
So then we're all going Boston out of the East.
No.
Or, no, you're going Orlando,
fuck,
right?
No, fuck Boston. My dad would be pissed because he's from Boston. But yeah, I think my Eastern Conference Finals pick is going to have to be the Orlando Magic.
I'll tell you.
I'll talk to y'all when that shit happens.
Yeah, well, mine's probably even worse. I'm just even thinking about
And
saying this.
so first pick Orlando Magic, second Boston, because other than that I can't see any. But like, just imagine if some mishap happens with Boston, Orlando moves on. The big bad giant is out of the way. There's really no. I mean, the Cavs kind of are a sneaky team that haven't been talked about a bunch, but I'm going to stick with my bold and ridiculous take of the Orlando
And if
Magic.
I had a Cinderella story to come out the East, it would probably be out of the plan, and I'm probably going to take the Atlanta Hawks.
I could have fucking saw that coming.
I can
from
see
my way.
them Trey coming back and then getting in a run, knocking out. We'll win the 7. We'll get the 7 seed. Wait, no, we'd have to play. Yeah, we'd get the 8 seed. We'd knock out Boston in 6, and then we'd go
But
play
how do
New
you
York, and then we'd probably play
Some of their
like a
success, though,
Orlando Magic team.
I don't like. Why is that
Division
funnier
matchup.
than your playing team that has to
Yeah.
get out of the play-in? We're already in there, buddy.
No, I'm
or not
telling
we,
you.
'cause I'm not an Orlando fan, but the Orlando Magic, I just don't like that, bro. I don't
So
like
If
it.
the Hawks get a 7-game series,
With the Magic,
watch
they're
out.
losing. They're losing.
So I'll go.
They're 100% losing the
Central America, a northern Central America matchup. I'm going Minnesota versus Milwaukee in the
oh
finals.
god, you think Milwaukee's gonna pick up the
Yep,
pieces?
I do. I think when it
Magic. They got
matters.
cold. They might pick up the heat
Yeah.
right where it matters.
You know,
So I can see that.
they had that one good COVID championship.
I mean, and they do have
Unless
a lot of
Doc
fucking
shoots
playoff
himself in the
experience
foot.
too, bro. They
yeah,
got-
Doc needs to shoot himself in the foot. Get Kenny Atkinson back in there.
Is that their old coach?
He coaches at the Bucks, but he used to be a former coach for Atlanta.
There we
Oh,
go.
really? Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's who I like. I like
But what-
Milwaukee,
the Hawks,
Minnesota.
though,
I like Minnesota to take it
Yeah, you like.
You think
them.
Minnesota's just gonna win it all?
easily.
Just mop
Anthony,
'em all.
Anthony Edwards is unbelievable. He's a generational talent.
He's a great. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Former UGA player.
He is.
And Nas Reed has been playing some high level
Oh,
basketball.
he smoked me last night. I don't even get
And
into
Karl
that.
Anthony Towns.
Is he back?
He's not back yet.
He's not
he
back
will be
yet, but
back
he
for
will.
playoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But freaking, how do you feel? The only thing with the
Yeah.
Hawks is Trae Young's going to be back, but part of their success has been while he's been gone, they've been a much better defensive team.
He's gonna come back and he's
Dude,
gonna shoot
Jalen Johnson,
lights
too.
out.
There's a lot of good rookies right now and young players like Jalen Johnson.
This
for the
next
Hawks.
draft that's coming up, ass.
What they say, like,
Jeremy
what-
Can, TikToker.
Yeah.
He's
They
going
said
number
worse
one.
than like
Klingon and Edie. And DJ Horn, maybe.
Oh yeah, DJ Burns. He's going to the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be in the
I saw
NFL.
I heard the
about
Chiefs
that.
were looking for him.
I mean that you could make a good transfer there. It did. I mean, didn't Anthony Gonzalez didn't play much
Tony
basketball?
Gonzalez, yeah, he hooped and then he went straight to the NFL and played.
That's
tight
right.
end.
I mean, the thing about the Timberwolves is,
Antonio Gates was a college basketball player, switched like midway.
a lot of
But he wouldn't be a
ends
tight
were
end though. He'd be
ex-basketball
like a
players.
lineman, right? Like
No,
a D
yeah,
lineman.
DJ Burns.
Yeah.
yeah, he'd definitely be like
No,
a
yeah,
center.
he's 275. Yeah,
Yeah, he'd
Okay.
definitely
Well,
be a
most
guard
linemen
type.
weigh like 300, so you
Yeah,
maybe
you have to put on some pounds,
Yeah.
which is wild to think
wouldn't
about.
be that hard for Burns.
No, for sure. But the thing about the Timberwolves is, you look at their roster, they can play defense. All of them have good defensive stats. So that's why I think push comes to shove.
Yeah, I mean when they
rocking with
kick into that playoff gear, I could definitely see it. I guess I might be overlooking that a bit, but
Yeah. And if the Warriors, I mean, either way, if the Warriors, the Lakers sneak into the 8th seed, which is probably going to be the case, one of them is going to be the 8th seed, and they have to play Minnesota in the first round. If Minnesota handles that 4-1, 4-0, I definitely think they're going to make a run.
I just feel like there's going to be a little because wasn't last year didn't the Nuggets didn't really lose anything. They lost like
No.
1 or 2 games.
Yeah, they were like what?
Sweep.
16-2 going into the finals or something like that.
They lost
ridiculous.
one game to the T-Wolves, your sick T-Wolves, and then they swept, and then they lost 1 game to Miami. So
It's absolute dominance.
Yeah,
so
they're
I
just
would
dominant.
expect this year to be a little bit more competitive. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks way
well,
more competitive.
when I flew to Denver a couple weeks ago, and I went to the Denver game, that crowd is pretty electric.
Yeah,
they
for sure.
they get crazy. So
they got 'em
They
by-
definitely have the city behind them again.
They're all just stoned.
But yeah, everyone's just stoned out of their mind. No, everyone's drinking. But
and you get more drunk up in the elevation. Come on.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, we'll see how it
Well,
goes.
yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. I mean, I
go
think
Magic.
it's gonna be a good playoff ahead of us.
Let's go Atlanta.
Go Timberwolves.
As the Magic win, I'll be buying. Let's see what. I might go Jalen Suggs, or I go Cole Anthony. One of those two.
The Magic win it all. I'll personally buy that for you, sir.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back with more NBA talk later in the playoffs, and have a good week.